Hey all, August 2022, and in this video I'm going to be doing a plant highlight on a grass, a tropical grass called Vetiver. It's a plant I only just recently got acquainted with. Most of you probably are familiar with the tree that's growing in front here, Moringa, the oleifera, dubbed the miracle tree. This vetiver grass is actually called the miracle grass. It comes from India, but has been cultivated throughout the world. Vetiver grass is a tropical grass, so of course it's not going to grow everywhere. It's really happiest in zone 9 and up. So definitely in the Phoenix, Arizona area. You may be able to get away with growing it in zone 8 as well. It's really going to put on its growth mostly in the warm times, basically spring through fall. Winter, it's going to go dormant. In winter time, I'm told basically the grass above the soil line there is going to, go more to a brown color. It's going to die back a bit in the cold, but in springtime, the green shoots will emerge. There are benefits of the grass portion, what's above the soil line there, as well as the roots. In fact, the roots of this plant is actually where the major benefits are contained. But I want to talk to you a bit about why I'm specifically growing this grass. I used to have canna lilies out in this spot, really meant to create a screen, a hedge, to protect the interior of my fruit trees. So absolutely nothing wrong with canna. I still have a good amount of that in another area of my yard, but once I learned about vetiver and all of the benefits that it could bring to my yard, I gladly took out the canna and replaced it with these 3 clumps you see here. Gardening here in our climate, mulch is a must. I prefer to actually use, leaves of plants because there is something unnatural about at least the mulch that I'm picking up. This is the bag stuff out of convenience. I'll go and get this. I've learned more recently that this material is not necessarily just chipped fresh from a tree. Oftentimes this is recycled wood product. They're actually chipping down old pallets, potentially even MDF board. So not necessarily great stuff, and then they dye it just to make it uniform. What I'd really like to do is grow my own mulch. Cool thing about vetiver is it'll grow to a height of about 5 or 6 feet very quickly, and the more you chop it down, the more it grows. So it can provide your yard a vast amount of mulch. So the other benefit of this grass is that I can use this as a fodder, specifically for my chickens. In other parts of the world, they use this to feed cattle, rabbits. Quite a few animals will eat this, and it's a good source of nutrition for them. A benefit to this too is that I'm not going to have to use a lot of water on it. This is drought tolerant. The other benefit, of course, is that this can be used to create a hedge, similar to what I had with the canna lilies. It's going to enlarge its footprint. Right now it's pretty small. This came in a gallon pot, but as time goes on, it will slowly clump out, similar to the clumping bamboo behind it. So we'll fill in this area to provide that hedge, which is going to act as a wind barrier to the plants back there and also provide some shade to the ground cover. Now let's talk about the roots. I mentioned that the height on these gets to 5 feet. Well, the roots can go down 10 feet. Because those roots go down so deep, it's going to definitely help break up the clay a bit, provide oxygen levels down deep in areas that we typically would not have that available to plants. So if you plant plants nearby, they can benefit from vetiver. The other huge benefit of this grass is that it is known to take out toxins from soils. So it's not my situation, but if you were moving to a home where you don't know what the previous owner had done to the ground, potentially used chemicals and contaminated the soil, this would be a great plant to remediate that. So erosion control is another huge benefit for this. Now my yard is fairly flat, but I know people that are, you know, up maybe by South Mountain where you have very steep backyard slopes. This would be an excellent one to plant on that slope to help naturally hold water in and prevent that runoff. So beyond everything that I talked about, this also is medicinal. People will make beverages out of the roots, or, you know, use the essential oils, said to help the nervous system, and it also has anti-inflammatory properties. So the main impetus again was using the vetiver as a mulch. Provides that carbon base for me to chop and drop. Between that and actually this Mexican sunflower here that I've got growing in the yard that provides the nitrogen base. Between those two, I can chop and drop a lot of material to get a nice substrate on the ground. If you're interested in buying this plant, I'm pretty sure that Green Life here in Phoenix sells it if you're local. If you want an online route, Pete Canaris at Green Dreams Nursery in Florida also sells it. And I believe they're like $15 for a 1 gallon plant. Once you're growing the plant, you can easily divide that plant to get more plants. Really nice one to incorporate into our gardens here in the Phoenix area, given it's compatible with our zone and provides so many benefits. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.